Alright guys, welcome back. I'm really enjoying making these videos as always, and I'm glad to be back at it. I hope you watched my last video, but it was the New Year's vlog. I'm glad you came. I know it wasn't partying or anything, but that's not what it intended to be. It was to talk to you guys about what was happening. This is the first video of the proper new series. So this is going to be part of a no way to make this sound not boring, but I actually find it really interesting. I hope you find it really helpful. This is part of the new series, playlist series that I'm going to call book reviews, because that's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be a brief description about a book that I find really helpful, strictly archery related. It's going to be talking about books that I found that are helpful, that I've read, that I've heard about, that I've either found helpful in one way or another, whether I would suggest them to use. Yeah. First thing I need to mention, actually I'm going to talk to you about the book first. The book, where I heard from it, I heard from it actually when I was in Edinburgh Napier. I was shooting on a training day and Kat came up to me and was like, "Yo Matt, have you heard about this?" The book is called Training for Archery. It is by Jake Kaminsky. He's an Olympian, he's a US archer, he's an Olympian, he's shot with Brady Ellison on the team. He's a fantastic archer. He has sported, worked on and encouraged a lot of our archery technological advances. If I'm not wrong, he was the one that came up with stealth shots for recurves. Stealth shots, if you know anything about archery or compounds, for compounds it's the little dampener that stops the string. When you shoot it, it'll come back and it'll stop the string in an exact place. It's supposed to let the arrow get away from the string at an exact point every time. It helps to do the consistency. So Jake Kaminsky actually, I'm pretty sure it was Jake Kaminsky, came up with them for recurve archers. And now that I've said that, I'm going to check it. This isn't a video about stealth shots. Yeah, Jake Kaminsky, okay. So yeah, Jake Kaminsky came up with it. But that's not what this book is about. This book is about how he trains, how he suggests training, how he trained for the Olympics, how he trained for the many years. Kat actually gave me her copy. This isn't her copy, I've had to return her copy, that was a while ago. And I opened it up and immediately read the contents page. The contents, focus. The contents, I read the contents and read through all of them, instantly intrigued. But then when it came to the actual page beside it, he says, I am more than just a shooter. I am passion, growth, innovation, motivation. I am an archer, an Olympian. I am Jake Kaminsky. So that's not a fantastic way to start a book. I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't read a lot of books, but fantastic book. To start this, I actually have to talk to you slightly about the book. So, like I said, I read the book before the vlogs. I have studied the book. I've released videos with content relating to the book. I've never done the book review. I love this book so much that I'm recommending it to you. I'm doing a review for you guys, and you can get it. I've posted a link in the description down below. It is an Amazon link. You can get it on Amazon. It is only like 20 quid. That sounds a lot for like a paperback book, but if this book doesn't change your archery routine, your archery style, how you think about archery and advance your archery career, I don't really know what will, other than a personal coach shooting every day with him. Even at that though, this will tell you how to do that successfully. I am an Amazon associate, and the link down below is an Amazon associate link. It means that for every time someone buys the book, I get like 5 cents or something. I'm not sure what 5p, I'm not exactly sure what the percentage is, but every time you go and invest in your future, I get a little cut out of it. If enough people actually invest in this, and when I say enough people, if enough people invest into your future off of my recommendations using that affiliate link, I'll give away a copy of this. and it's a good way for me to throw back into you guys if I'm going to be doing these, which I plan to be doing quite a lot of these reviews on both gear and books. I've shown you the contents page already. I'm going to highlight the chapters and give you a brief overview. It doesn't mean you understand it, but it's good. Chapter 2 is all about periodization. Periodization is about the times when you shoot. So I used to shoot back when I was still in high school. I used to shoot 250 arrows every day. That was awful. Yeah, it increased my arrow count, but it also killed me. Probably didn't help my back at that time. I was young, I was still growing. This book talks to you about periodization, how you should shoot, when you should shoot, setting yourself goals. There is math involved in it. It sucks, I know, but once you figure out the math, it makes a lot of sense. Having your peak days, your lift days, which are like your weaker days when to relax a little, your recovery days where you just don't shoot. Those days were have been the hardest for me to implement. When you say you have a recovery day planned, you have to recover. Even if you want to shoot, recover, because you'll be going into a peak day after, and working it all out around when your competition days might be, having your off days. It's all, he does it really well, and he even puts it in a calendar to visualize it for himself. Periodization is super important for when you're trying to increase your arrow count, increase your bow strength, increase your draw weight, all this kind of stuff. You have to understand what you're doing, how often you're doing it. If you don't work on your periodization, your training's not going to be productive. Chapter 3, your warm-ups. I've touched on this in a vlog in the past. I'm pretty sure it was called warm-ups. He talks you through all the warm-ups he does, all the warm-ups he recommends. He blabs a little about why you should warm up. If you don't already know why you should warm up when you're doing archery, what are you doing? Go watch my video and then buy this book, because he'll tell you in a lot of detail why you should warm up, and then he'll explain what to do as you're warming up. He uses stuff like, much like myself in my video, that you'll have every time you're shooting no matter what, such as a side rod or an arrow tube, all that kind of stuff. I don't use an arrow tube, I actually use my long rod for the exercises, but he shows you pictures of him doing them and how to do them, how to successfully do them, and the stuff that he uses. It's really, really good. Chapter 4 is strength training for archery, part 1. In this chapter he talks a lot about how to, it's basically strength and conditioning. He talks about all the stuff he does. Basically it's how strength and conditioning for beginners and how he does it and how long he suggests to do it. Part 2, which is still chapter 4, is the actual weight exercises he does during his gym sessions. There you go, focused. He posts pictures on it. They're really good. I do a lot of these exercises in the gym. One of the videos I plan in the future is to actually take you guys along to the gym and show you what I do as my workout. He does weighted and non-weight, just body weight exercises. He also takes into account your strength, whether you can do all the reps. If you can't do all the reps he does, he suggests how many you should do, what your goal should be. He, without trying to sound sexist, he takes into account women's ability. I'm not being sexist here, women aren't as strong as men, and he takes that into account, and he doesn't mean he's any easier on you, but he does tailor it to you as well. He goes through a lot of different exercises. Like, this is a good few pages of this, but it's really important, and a lot of it is pictures. Don't know why I stated that, but it's really helpful, and I use most of these exercises in my routines. Chapter 5, fueling for archery. If you aren't fueling properly for your sport, you aren't fueling at all. This isn't about dieting, this isn't about anything like that. You should be fueling when you're shooting. A lot of people have different techniques. A lot of people think, oh yeah, protein. It's not all about that. You need to write, because archery is not only a heavy weight sport. I never understood what a complex carb was, but he gives you examples of what complex carbs are, such as brown rice, lentils, quinoa. Who heard of quinoa before today? I actually had, because I've read the book, but actually really good. He tells you all the stuff you should avoid, lists all the fats, all the fiber, carbs. He gives examples of what he does off season as well as during tournament seasons. Really important, and if you don't understand it, buy the book for that alone. I mean, there's so many important things in this book, but buy it for that alone. Fueling for the sport is so important. If you do it wrong, you're not going to improve and you'll not be able to last the entire day, whereas archers will be in the final day doing their head-to-heads and still be at full strength, and you'll be dying. Chapter 6 is about supplements. A lot of people hate the idea of supplements. I love supplements. Omega-3 fish oil, the joint advantage. He lists probiotics, multivitamins. He does list pre-workouts and protein powder. I don't use pre-workout, I do use protein powder and recovery shakes when I'm training in the gym. And that doesn't mean you guys need to, but it's really good. He lists when you know how to know which supplements are good for you, which brands or types of supplements are bad for you, and how to know the difference. It's really good. Final 2 chapters, actually, this is a long video, I know, and it's probably going to be longer once I edit it. The final 2 chapters are possibly the most important, and I forgot about the last one. But stick with me for these ones, because I keep saying this is why you should buy the book, but honestly this book is full of such useful information, and it's so beneficial, and it covers so many key points that you just need to buy the book. All of these chapters I'll be covering in my own way, with my own advice, with my own recommendations in videos, but these are really good, and it's good to have a read and be able to flick through it. So chapter 7 is recovery and sustainability. Talks about how to recover, how he recovers, how he recommends you do recovery, why recovery is important after training, after shoots, why it's important to have that recovery day in your rota. He talks about recovery exercises you should do and some simple items that you need. I made a video on this. It was the same video as my warm-up routines, I believe. He uses these fancy things called rock balls and rock tape. I don't. I use simple physio tape and a tennis ball or 2. You don't need anything fancy. He talks about stretches as like a cool down for when you finished your archery training for the day. All the different kind of contrast therapy, pressure points. He talks to you about how to deal with different pains, so like elbow pain, upper back pain, lower back pain, arm pain, fatigue, all this kind of stuff. Really helpful. I posted a video on it before, and I'm going to post another video in the future. The final thing is about mental. The mental state and your mental technique is such a big part of archery, and if you haven't got it sorted, you can go as far as you can physically, but it's the mental game, the mental technique, the archers that have the strong mental game and technique are the ones that make it to the Olympics, make it to the World Championships, beat you in competitions. I had a really strong mental game, and I like to believe I still do, which is why when I was reading this book I was able to think, oh yeah, no, that makes sense, and oh yeah, I did that, and I need to tell my fellow archers about all of this so that they can understand it, and so that not only so that you can advance, but also so I can progress with you, and the more you progress and the more you progress and I shoot against you, so I train with you guys, the more I'd have to progress because you will challenge me more. That sounds like selfish, but it's a win-win for both of us. And good present for an archer if your family member's an archer and you're not, or if you want something to read on the tube or on the train or on the flight to your next competition or something, I don't know. It's a good read, recommend, 9 out of 10. Definitely buy it. Please use the link. The link in the description will take you straight to the site, the Amazon site, with the best deal for use. If you have the time, if you have the money, I'd recommend buying it. It'll increase your knowledge in the sport, and it's a good read. And it's a really good gift. I actually really appreciated Kat, so shout out to Kat for giving me it. Yeah guys, that's it. Stick around. That video was really quite long and I didn't mean it to be, but I hope you guys stick around and hope it was fun. See you next time in the video. Subscribe, hit the notification bell.